Hello, guys. I am here to tell you about digital citizenship, and we're going to talk about finding credible news. When we're online or when we're watching TV, sometimes the news that we read is a little questionable, to say the least. Sometimes it's very shocking and it's real life, but sometimes it is very shocking and not true at all. Like this picture on the computer right there. Voting age lowered to 12 in a handful of states. Think that's real? My guess is it's not. Let's keep going. So, our essential question is, how do we find credible information on the internet? Our learning objectives are to learn reasons that people put false or misleading information on the internet, learn criteria for differentiating fake news from credible news, practice evaluating the credibility of information they find on the internet. So here is an example of Uncyclopedia. Look familiar? Very much like Wikipedia, right? So again, this is a source that's people use, and you can use it to get general information, but not always super right on, because anyone can add to it. So you can look at this typical piece of corn over on in the picture, and I know that's not what corn looks like. I mean, maybe if you cut off that bottom half, that's what corn looks like. So again, anyone can change the way it looks or add a picture. So it's not always credible. Key information. The word credible is able to be believed or trustworthy. Well, we always want a trustworthy source when we're talking about research. We really need to be able to trust where we're getting the information. Why you might find information on the internet not to be true. There are three main types of articles or websites that you will find. There's editorials, articles or blogs that are meant to persuade the reader or the author's opinion, in which may include bias or leave out important facts. Satire, websites or articles that are meant to be funny by making fun of a subject, which often includes statements that are untrue. And hoaxes, articles that are meant to fool the reader into believing something that isn't true and trying to be as realistic as possible. Evaluate, to carefully examine something to figure out its value. Bias, having preference for one thing over another in a way that's unfair. Corroboration, an additional source that confirms or supports a news article, story, or piece of information. So again, I'm not going to have you guys actually look through these, but here's the case for allowing 16-year-olds to vote. So you've got this website that takes you to a place that allowing 16-year-olds to vote. Again, this is an article, and it looks like it's a fairly credible source, but I have a feeling that they're trying to sway your opinion one way or another. Okay, so let's go back to this. So again, you could read closely, analyze the source, and look for corroboration. So again, once you've read the article closely, you can analyze the source and see who wrote it. So again, all articles are going to either at the very top or the very bottom have authoring on it. This one's a very long one, but let's see if we can find the authoring. And you see all of these? They're questionable, that's for sure. Voxopedia, advertise with us, Vox. Doesn't look like a very credible site to me. It doesn't have a whole lot of information on it. Links to Facebook and Twitter. But again, I'm not seeing a whole lot. There's Zachary Crockett wrote this, and there's his email. But again, doesn't look super credible to me. I would go Google and see if you can find another article that corroborates it, that has a stronger reputation, someone like a news outlet. So again, that's one of the ways you could find out if it's credible. How credible is it? Fake news. Information is very surprising, even unbelievable. Kind of like 16-year-olds voting. Website is biased or not part of credible news, academic, or government organization. Author's bio or previous articles show bias on the issue. Key points cannot be corroborated by other credible sites. Questionable. Information may be surprising, but not unbelievable. Website is not part of an news, academic, or government organization. Author's bio or previous articles may show bias, or the article is an editorial or an opinion piece. Most points can be corroborated. Credible news. Information may or may not be surprising but makes sense. Website is part of a credible news, academic, or governmental organization. Author has no clear bias on the issue. Article is not an editorial or opinion piece. All points can be corroborated by other opinion sites. We are critical thinkers and creators. So use those critical thinking skills when you're thinking about articles you're reading online or any other materials that you're reading online. Think about it and think about, does this make sense? Does this sound like it's coming from a credible source? So, as now that you've heard about our credible sources, you are going to play Digital Compass, and you're going to play as Jay, and I will show you, you will be able to see which one.